Welcome to Business Success Tips, where I learn to make more money in less time and hopefully have a lot more fun. I'm your host, Paul Sanneman. I'm founder of Contractor Staffing Source, help contractors build great teams. Ingrid Ricks from Convertedly, I hope I got that name right, is my guest today. She's talking about everybody's favorite thing, sales, right? Yay. So, Ingrid, why don't you tell what you do and who you do it for?
Yeah, so we actually we are a online sales outsource consulting firm, and we work home builders across the country achieve more sales through lead nurturing, from online sales to lead capture until conversion. So we work with small to medium-sized home builders across the country, and we also do fractional sales leadership.
Okay, so are salesmen born or trained?
Oh, that is such a great question. I feel like they're a hybrid of both, right? So, sales professionals, I believe, you have an internal desire to want to help people, right?
Right.
And whether that is, whether that is selling them a new home or a new car or building them a custom home, whatever it may be, right? You have to have that desire to want to help them achieve their overall goal.
Now, question. Obviously, we've all been in this business a long time. There's sort of a stigma around sales, right? I mean, we all have dealt with that, like the used car salesman, somebody who sells, basically they're interested in their own interest and not yours, and they're not a great salesperson. I mean, great salespeople are change the world because they're the ones that everybody listens to, right? So I don't know if it's a
That's right.
politician or religious leader, whatever, those people that can change minds are great salespeople.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, the reputation is not gotten, people, oh, I don't want to be a salesperson. So how do you deal with people that have a negative image of sales, which I'm sure is out there?
Yeah, so that's another great question. I would say uh, what I like to say is you want to slow that person down, right? Because consumers these days have been trained to basically stop people from selling them,
Right.
right? So if you think about it, what's the first thing that you feel when you when you're going to buy a car, right? A lot of the folks that I've talked to, they say, "Oh my gosh, I hate buying a car." And why? Because they feel like they're being sold, right? Because a lot
Right.
of the times, more often than not, they feel like they're not being heard. So
Okay.
when that's the case, I like to slow those people down and say, "Hey, I actually take that straight objection and say, I don't want to be sold." And I directly say, "Hey, I'm not trying to sell you anything that you don't want." Right.
Right.
My goal today is to understand where your pain points are, what's not working. So that way I can just help guide you. And when you position it that way, it helps take that wall down and allows them to really, divulge to you what it is that they are looking for.
Now,
So
do you try any particularly in this particular methodology, Sadler or counselor selling? Is there any particular methodology you use, or do you sort of have your own thing?
yeah, so I've been in sales for pretty much all of my entire career. So I've gone through all of the sales training that you could possibly think of. So Sandler, Myers Barnes, Jeff Shore,
Right.
Cannonball, all of the things, right? And if you think about it, a lot of them have similar methodologies, right? From the
Mhm.
perspective of really understanding what the buyer's dissatisfaction is or what their pain point is, and
Right.
then solving for the solution. So really, the really, really great salespeople knows and understand how to slow the folks down, understand and really make that personal connection before you start what I'm sure you're familiar with, feature dumping, and start selling them. A lot of
Right.
folks call this having commission breath, right?
Right.
Because you're more concerned about selling your product when you don't even understand what they're looking
Right.
for.
I mean, I think the number one thing with sales, you have to be more concerned about the other person than you, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And I have like three rules of sales. My rule of sales is first, you have to sell yourself first, because unless you believe in it, you can't sell anything. And
That's
even
right.
when, I agree, it could be Jehovah's. Anybody comes to me and they may have a spiritual belief, I'll listen, right? I mean, what the heck, right? because they believe they're helping people out. Fine, I might disagree with you, but I'll listen to what you have to say. So the first is, you have to say yourself first. The second is you've got to sell to the client's interest, not your own.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
What they want is way more important than you want. And the last one is use the best communication you can, which is preferably in person. That doesn't work, Zoom. If that doesn't work, the phone. Last case is email, which sucks. No offense.
It's the most passive way of communicating, right? And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of sales professionals these days, they default to email because it's the easiest form of communication. But let's be honest here, my inbox is full of emails that are not personalized, that are automated, that mean nothing, right?
Well, I always tell contractors, I say, email the proposals that you don't want to get.
That's right.
If you want to get them, you'll show up in person. Worst case is you're on Zoom. At least you can talk to a person in real time and handle objections. But I have a lot of contractors, literally do this whole 3-hour proposal and they email it to the guy. Are you kidding me?
Right. Yeah, and you know what? If you're going to do that, one tip I do have, for those contractors that like to email their proposals, I highly recommend using Loom. Loom is a free service. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Paul. It's where you can actually share your screen and walk through the proposal.
You're basically sending them a video of your presentation, right?
Exactly.
But the downside with any of that is you can't handle objections in real time.
That's right. That's right.
If you can't handle objections in real time, then you get this email, I'm not interested in your proposal, or I don't want to buy your house. I mean, you're done.
You're done.
You can't fix it, right?
Exactly. And one of the things that we coach on with our teams or even external sales professionals with our builder partners is, you want to address the objection right off the bat. Don't be afraid to handle the objection, because to your point, if you don't have the opportunity to address it, then the consumer is the one that is going to make up the answers for you. Right. So they are looking for all of the reasons why not to buy your product, why not to buy your home, right? And it is your job to tell them, hey, this is why you need this, because it will solve for the solution of the pain point that you have.
Right. I mean, I always say, one of my things in sales is if a person gives you objection, first you have to restate the objection.
That's right.
It's too expensive. It's too much time. I talk to my dog, whatever it is, right? You restate the objection and then you can close again, right? Now, one of the things that I've had a hard time teaching people is you may have to close 5 times, right?
Yes.
And people feel uncomfortable with that because they close once and they're done. I mean, that's not a good idea.
That's right. It takes several micro agreements in order for you to get the bigger agreement, to get the full yes, right? And, to your point, Paul, I think we put our own biases in being uncomfortable when we don't ask for the sale. Right? Because we think, well, if I ask them once and they didn't give me the direct yes, then maybe it's a no. So then that's one uncomfortable feeling that we put upon ourselves. So then you are more inclined to not ask the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth time.
I mean, it's all fear of rejection, in my opinion. They're fear of rejection, and you go, oh my God, I asked them to buy the house once or the remodel once. They said no. And if that hurts you emotionally, you probably shouldn't be a salesperson.
That's right. That's the opportunity to dig deeper and find out why. Okay, Paul, you're saying it's a little bit higher than your expected, budget. Tell me a little bit more about that. Where did you come up with that number? Right? And then they're going to tell you.
Because my favorite thing to do is sell. I've done it my whole life. I love doing it, and I still do it for my company because it's fun. But I've noticed now I've hired salespeople, and you got to be a little picky. I mean, because if a person doesn't have a high self-esteem, right, and their fear of getting rejected, you're probably not going to change who they are as a human being. Right.
And one of the things that I do tell my team, to your point, Paul, is that, hey, the word no you shouldn't be offended by the word no. In fact, I tell my team, that's the challenge. Get the no. because the no will tell me what I need to solve for in order to get the yes.
Well, I mean, to me, no means just try harder, but everybody has a different version of no, right?
Yes, exactly right.
And so how do you go about the process of, first, how do you find out if a person's going to be a good salesperson or not? Because everybody, so do you do any screening? How do you find out, like, this person testing, any way you can tell if this person has the right personality to sell?
Yes, that we do actually. We have a pretty intensive recruiting program that we do, to where when somebody is interested in joining our team, we actually have them go through a series of questions, right? So first we have them fill out a questionnaire, right? And it's a form, simple form, basically a survey telling us a little bit more about them. Based on that form, they get, then we get them to complete a personality profile so that we can understand how they tick, right? How they operate, how they like to be managed. And then the third part is really actually getting an idea of how they effectively follow up, right? So they have to send us a video message. And you and I both know a lot of people don't like to use video messaging because it makes them feel uncomfortable. But admittedly, if they're not willing to send us that video, then they're not going to be a great salesperson, in our opinion, because we need that in order to make that connection, right? So that's one check. But then also understanding what type of follow-up they do, how many follow-ups they do, if they send us a thank you after the interviews, right? So all of that is designed to understand how they operate as a salesperson.
Right. I mean, I know a lot of, to me, if you're selling homes and you're sitting around waiting for the person to show up, you're probably not the right person. Right. I mean, now, what is the difference, in your opinion, between a hunter and a farmer in sales?
Oh, gosh. So a hunter obviously goes and looks and digs and is relentless at finding the gold, right? And the gold by getting the sale, right? And so a lot of times when you're in new home sales, or even in custom home building, you're sitting in a model and you're waiting for somebody to come to you. Right. And marketing does their job by generating leads and putting it into your CRM. Right. But if you are not doing anything in your CRM other than keeping it as a Rolodex, then you're doing a huge disservice to yourself. Right. And one of the things that we do with our builder partners, the folks that we work with, is that's actually where the gold is. We educate them. Like, you have thousands of people in your database that have not been followed up on more than 1 or 2 times, right? Now, with our team, it's proven statistically that it takes anywhere between 5 to 12 touch points before anybody will even respond to you via email or phone call, right? More often than not, sales professionals will follow up once, twice, maybe 3 times.
Unless you're relentless, probably not going to work out, right?
That's right. That's right. So again, if you're not hunting, meaning using your CRM, digging for those folks and really having a consistent follow-up process with them, then you're not going to cut it in this market.
Agreed. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And so, in your company, do you train salespeople? Do you do sales for them? How does it work with your company?
We do. So for us, what we do is we offer turnkey online sales solutions. And what that does is we actually are the face of your organization. So if it's 𝗶𝘂𝗿𝗶 Builder, then any inquiry that comes in online that they submit, or any inbound phone calls, comes directly to us. Now, we are an extension of your team. So if you're called 𝗶𝘂𝗶 Builders, we act like we are on your team, right?
So you sort of do it for them, right? For lack of a better term.
We do it for them. So we nurture and convert that lead, right? And so for us, we build out your entire CRM, and we effectively provide you a full follow-up process from lead capture to lead conversion. So it's a seamless customer experience from start to finish. And I can tell you, when you partner with us, your leads, one lead, will get followed up on for a minimum of 2.5 years before we even say, you know what, they're still not responsive. What are we doing next? right?
Most contractors, you're lucky if it's 2.5 weeks, literally.
That's right. And contractors and custom home builders, let's be honest, a lot of the times the buying cycle for that buyer demographic is longer.
It's years.
It's certainly longer than 2 weeks.
I have to say that they certainly suck at sales. I mean, as a group, they're not good at it, right? I mean, because they're good at building houses and they may have, have some stuff going on about sales anyway. They sit somebody in a model home, whatever, and say, well, just be nice to the people that walk in and somebody will buy something.
Right. Right. That's right. And so what we do as well is after we've nurtured that lead and they're ready to meet with a builder, then we go ahead and connect them with the on-site sales professional, which that's exactly to your point, Paul. That's what they do best. They should be nurturing the leads that are ready, willing, and able to purchase today, right? So they're out there showing them the home, showing them the home sites, writing their contract.
Right.
Let us do the nurturing for you. Now, with that, we actually couple that with on-site sales training because, to your point, sales professionals are historically, unfortunately, not great at follow-up and not great at continuing the conversation.
If you can't close, you're in trouble. I mean, if you can't close, you're done.
Yeah. And so what happens after the appointment? A lot of the times they get forgotten. So we pick it back up and our goal is to get them back in front and move them down the buyer journey until they are ready to make that purchasing decision.
Perfect. Now, if you work on a percentage commission, a flat fee, how do you structure your fees?
Yeah, so we actually are a flat fee service. So you get full service 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So you get full coverage every month. And typically it's an annual partnership. Because that's where you're going to see the best, obviously the best results.
Good. Okay. Well, Ingrid, if people want to get in touch with you and if they're selling homes that would need sales training, how should they do that?
Yeah. So visit us at convertthesesolutions.com or connect with me on LinkedIn.
Good. Well, thanks, Ingrid. This is a huge problem. And I know a lot of contractors they sort of come in with a prejudice against sales, right? They go, do a good job and the rule will be the pathway to your. Not true, right?
Not true.
And so, you have to have a sales organization that knows how to sell something. And I think that's great to move forward. Good idea. So thank you. I really appreciate being here. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great one.